Hello, Courtney here, and I thought I would come to you today and share some lessons from, I don't, this isn't really a health video, but from having COVID twice in 1 year, and what that's kind of taught me just about my life in general, life's purpose, about frugality, about living with fear. Um, and so I just wanted to share my thoughts. So, my name is Courtney Robinson. Thank you for being here. If you like this content, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I mainly started making videos years ago to help my children and my students. I owned a vocational school for 10 years. I am a yoga therapist and I also am a stress management specialist. So back in November of, and I work in intensive cardiac rehab. So I teach stress management, yoga therapy to cardiac rehab participants or patients. And I would just kind of am always in that place of studying life and how to reduce stress and how to increase quality of life. And I'm going to be honest with you, this past year having COVID twice has been very depressing. It has been very physically depressing. It has been emotionally and mentally taxing. I'm also the mother of four young adults. I have two bonus children, and one of my children has a disability. So I also care for him. He is independent, but he still requires a lot of assistance. So, what this past year has taught me, back in 2020, when I got sick, I was mildly ill with COVID, and then I got what was known as an anti-inflammatory response. I do have an autoimmune disease that I have maintained by living a whole food plant-based lifestyle. I exercise, and other than having some underlying chronic issues, for the most part, I was healthy. I had them maintained. I had them in control. I was very fit, and yeah, I got COVID, and within a month, I was really, really ill, and I ended up with an enlarged heart. My cardia, my heart would race, my blood pressure would drop. I ended up with fluid on my left lung, and I had a really hard time breathing for almost 7 months. 5 months was really bad. By 7 months, I was back to being about 90%. And I'm getting over COVID now as I film this. So I did get vaccinated in April. And then my husband has a job that puts him with the public, and we live in a rural state where they cannot mandate masks, and they will not mandate masks. And so my husband has a job. He's a police officer in the court system. We also own a roofing company. That job does not really put him at risk, but the police job does. And he has to check people in all day long. And a lot of these people refuse to wear a mask. And a lot of these people probably are not vaccinated. And he got sick again, and we believe it was from work, and he brought that home again, and this time we believe it's the Delta variant, and we both became very, very ill. I'm very glad to be alive right now. It's been extremely hard, and I have lost multiple people in my community. I lost two classmates this week at the age of 50. I've lost so many people I know. I've lost count of people. But one thing this has taught me, I'm on day 13 of having COVID again. I am actually my first day out of bed. And I was able to go get a haircut today, and I was able to drive to town and go to the bank, and I needed an allergy shot. And so I definitely don't feel good or feel normal. I had the infusion 3 days ago on day 10. My doctor dropped the ball and I didn't get it, and finally my specialist was able to give it to me. So I am doing a little bit better today, and I just wanted to share my thoughts. So the first thing is that the world feels really scary when you're looking at the world from a fishbowl. When you're stuck inside and you can't get out, and the only news you have is social media or TV or the internet, the world looks really scary, and it's very, very hard to find the good. And just today, driving to my hairdresser and talking to my hairdresser, we're not politically really aligned, but she's been my friend since 7th grade, and we're able to have civil conversations. And just being with her, finding the good there, talking to the other hairdresser in the shop, um, getting the shot. The little nurse that gave me the shot, the young lady, was so sweet. And we just need that human interaction to remember that the world is not always a scary place, that there are still good people. And so being locked in, or I tend to have social anxiety anyway, being a very quiet person, it was just good just to get out. And I just ended up driving around town a little bit today, just enjoying the sun and just not being locked in the house. The other thing is that we have to have some balance. Being in one situation all the time with never any balance isn't good. We need to work and we need to have fun, but of course, being sick, you have to heal. And I'm grateful to have been able to heal at home and not the hospitals, because there are no hospital beds where I live. Um, we got to have that balance of work and play. And I've been working on retirement for a long time. I've been on a financial journey to retirement, and it's made me realize that, like, I really, when I retire, my husband's only 2 years from retirement, or partial retirement. I really am going to have to find a balance of doing things like going to the library and getting books, and maybe joining an exercise class, or having some kind of schedule that has me interact with other people, and how important that is. The third one is needing to feel productive, whether it's a project that you're working on. I did do a lot of, like, I cleaned out the sock basket. I would clean out a drawer. I would clean out my makeup brushes. Like, anytime I would feel like getting up, I would spend 5 minutes doing something like that. But being productive in the sense of having, like, a bigger project that, for me, something that I can start and finish and see the finished product. I really need that. We have an Airbnb, and I had kind of been I've been thinking about not reopening it because of COVID and everything, but I found that, like, the negatives definitely don't outweigh the positives. Like, I enjoy getting the Airbnb ready for people. I enjoy making that experience for people. And so I decided to open back up the Airbnb on a very limited basis. And just having that kind of project, making it pretty, making it enjoyable, making money from it, but enough money to buy, like, I purchased a fire pit this week with little stars and moons on it, so that when it casts little stars and moons on the ground, things like that. Just having something that makes you feel productive is important as humans. We need that. And the other thing is that I don't need very much. My husband did all the grocery shopping for us. I ordered what I had to online. We do live in the country, but just, I don't need much. I have most everything I need, and I was able to make do for a very long period of time without going to the grocery store. We made it for 10 days without going to buy anything. So that's really empowering. But the other thing is, on the flip side of that, is too little is not good either. For instance, I ran out of shampoo and conditioner, which I had, like, 3 different sets that were at varying degrees of empty. Like, maybe the conditioner was almost out, and there were a couple I didn't like. And by the end of the week, my hair was feeling yucky, and it just wasn't feeling good. It was making me feel worse. I would wash it, and it would still, I had some, like, smoothing stuff. It would feel greasy, and it just actually added to my discomfort. And so what I kind of realized through that is, yes, it's good to be resourceful, but having too little, it's okay to have some things in life that bring you some pleasure and some joy, even those little things, and that we should spend our money on those things if we have extra money left over. The next one is just that you have to find the good, and it's been very, very hard lately. I had a situation where, when I went to my PCP, I told them I had COVID. I had tested at home. My husband had tested positive with a lab test and a home test, and they let me come in through the door and check in. And I was extremely angry about this, and I called and I complained to the office manager because I didn't want to get anybody sick, and the non-sick patients were mingling with the sick patients, and I was actually telling people, please, I don't want to get you sick, please step away from me, you know, I don't mean to be rude, but like, I need you to give me space, because they had no option for me to check in, and I had to check in to get the treatment. And so, long story short, the lady, the office manager, just almost went into tears as she just unloaded on me, and not in a bad way, but just like, I'm so sorry. I know I've done everything I can. I'm trying to make them understand this is dangerous. I've had COVID. And it just, you know, she was good. She was good. She couldn't help it. And she was trying to do the right thing. And it made me sad. I felt bad for kind of getting on to her, but it also made me just see that this is a woman trying to do the right thing. And I had a lot of people. I've shared my story about being vaccinated, about being a healthy, whole food, plant-based vegan who worked out an hour a day, 6 days a week, and got COVID twice. Being a person who masks up, who washes their hands, who stays out of crowds, who's very careful, and I still got it twice. But all the outpouring of people who have reached out to help me, and just, you know, I haven't needed it. We've managed without the help, but it meant a lot to me. And so it's just so important to find the good and to find a balance in life between busy and not busy, having and not having. And so I just wanted to share those thoughts with you. I don't know that this is a stellar video, but those are kind of the lessons I've learned, and I'm looking forward to getting back into life. But I do want to kind of maintain that balance of having rest time and busy time. And I go back to work 4 days a week starting a week from now. I work 2 days a week this week, and I just hope that I can keep that balance. And I'm going to try to start making some things more of a routine, like going to the library and getting books, and finding kind of more structure. That's one thing I've really learned from COVID, is that I need some structure. I need more structure in my life again. So as a person who owned a vocational school for 10 years and taught people, you know, every week for 10 years, I was teaching every other weekend, I was traveling, to go to such a screeching halt and have no structure and feel so isolated, even for someone who at first was tickled because I'm extremely introverted, has been, it's been a lesson for me, for sure. So anyway, I hope my insights help somebody else. And if you have COVID, I hope that you are healing. If you have lost someone to COVID, I'm so sorry, and I feel your pain. I have too, a family member and many, many friends. And I know this is a collective trauma that we're all experiencing together, and that this will be our trauma when we look back on it, of our generation. And I wish for everyone to have less struggling and more love and hope in their life. Thank you. Bye-bye.